It's episode 3. We're here with Steph Lyon. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So go ahead, my dude. Introduce yourself for everybody.
All right, cool. So, I'm Steph Lyon, a rapper. I do trap rap, and I don't put myself in a box. I'm just a musician, but yeah, we out here in Ottawa and Gloucester, kicking.
Yeah, I'm in the same side of the city. I'm in Gloucester too myself, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
that's cool.
always been on the east end of the city. So the track that I was sent to listen to was Rocks. When did you release that?
I released that almost 2 weeks ago now. Came out on the 26th. So
How's your
20,
response been?
it's been good. We're getting good, and we're doing really well. We got a few playlist placements, and we're getting good streams from that, and things are looking good. Just hoping to hit the Spotify algorithm and stuff like that. So,
Right. And you have visual filters coming out for that?
no, I'm not planning visuals yet, but there's everything's a possibility. There's always a possibility. We're gonna see how the song rocks out for the next month or two, and if it's doing good, we might set up and try to get a music video out for that and get some visuals popping. But for now, no.
All right. And what do you have planned for like this year? Do you have a project in
Yeah,
mind, or?
I'm currently working on a few things, but I was planning on dropping another EP sometime this year with because see, I have three sounds I kind of jump around with. I jump around with my main trap sound. Then I have a melodic sound, which because I really love singing. So I have a melodic sound, and then I have my like drill sound that I'm doing right now. So I kind of jump around from those. And my first project was my melodic sound. And well, sorry, no, my first project was actually my trap sound, my straight trap sound. And then from October I dropped my melodic stuff. So there was a lot of singing on there. It was like rapping and singing, but it was mostly melodic. And then now I'm dropping an EP with my drill sound. So everyone knows like these are the things I do, and I can hop back and forth from that shit, and they won't be confused. I'm like, well, when did this start, or when did this happen?
Yeah.
So
It's always good to be versatile too. So it's important to
yeah,
be versatile. You know what I mean? So, and how long you been doing music for now?
professionally we're running 3 years now, but unprofessionally I've been doing music for like 5 years, but I just never released anything. See, for me, music was kind of like I always wanted to do it, but I was always scared to do it because growing up, my voice broke when I was like 8 or 9, and people used to like just slate me all the time for it. They're like, "Oh, you have a deep voice." I was like a kid. I was super tall, and all my friends and everyone I knew used to like, "You're a grown ass man. Oh, you sound like a train. You sound like a truck," and shit like that. So it kind of made me become like a really quiet kid. So like I wasn't really talking too much. So I never really got in tune with my own voice. I never really accepted my own voice. So it was kind of recently when I was like, I think when I turned 16, I kind of was just like, you know what, this is it. I have this voice, ain't gonna change. So I just kind of started doing music and stuff, and then after a while, I grew confident enough to release it, and it got really good feedback. So I kept going with it, and we're here now.
Yeah, you definitely have a distinctive voice, man. It's definitely deeper than a lot of the artists in the city. That's for
Yeah,
sure. Like, there's a lot of artists in
nah,
the city. Like,
but
you
dude, the
probably
thing is,
have one of the deepest voices of the artists that I know in the city of Ottawa. You probably have one of the deepest. Now that I've actually spoken to you, I can see what you mean.
yeah, and I see the thing is, people usually like they see my shit and they're like, "Yo, you just put it on the voice." I'm like, "No, I have struggled with this shit for years of my life. Don't come out here telling me I'm putting it on or I'm trying to be like someone. Like, no, I sound like this. Ask the people I know; they will tell you. I used to get bullied for that. So, like, yeah.
And you're originally from Ottawa?
No, I was born in Nigeria. I lived in Ireland most of my life, and I actually recently moved here. Like, I
You lived
moved
in
from Ireland,
Ireland, you
so
said?
yeah, I moved. I was living in Ireland for most of my life, and I just moved over now. So I'm actually
Oh, that's
Irish.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's mad
crazy. 'Cause
crazy.
that's where I'm like that's my background. So like I have like
Cool, cool.
interviews of a lot of people in Ireland, like the revolutionary singers and stuff like that, coming on
Yeah,
the show in the future. So
yeah, no, because I got most of my listeners and
I
supporters
guess
are.
that's where the drill comes from, then, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I love UK drill, like, because we're Ireland was really put in with the UK drill, like, was really influenced by it. But
Yeah,
if the thing about drill was I loved it so much, but I could never do it because whenever I did drill, I'd break out into an English accent. I was like, no, that's not how we do it. Because I was so inspired by it. Like, so
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, I can't do it. So I never really found a way to articulate my drill without bringing in an English accent, which wasn't natural to me. Like my natural accent is this. It's like plain. It's not really English, not really Irish. It's not. It's just plain in the middle.
You could hear a hint. Now that you mentioned it, I could hear like a slight hint, like a little hint.
Yeah, like there's slight like
Yeah,
hints
you know,
to it,
like
but
some
like
words you could catch the note on it, and I'm like, oh, there, I
yeah,
heard it there, but yeah. No, that's
yeah.
cool.
So
That's
basically,
dope.
yeah.
See, that's why
But
I
that's the
bring
thing
people
about
on the
music,
show,
like
because like to learn that kind of like thing they wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? Like I would have
yeah.
never have
And
assumed like
I'm just trying to be myself, so I'm just trying to like build a brand where it's like I don't want to be related too much to something because people will think I'm pushing it, especially when I'm like, okay, I'm Irish, and they're like, but you don't sound Irish. I'm like, not everyone in Ireland has a deep Irish accent or nothing. So you can't just be like, oh, you have to sound Irish to be an Irish rapper, or you have to sound like Canadian to be a Canadian rapper. No, sometimes you get influence from different parts of the world and different
exactly.
things,
You
which kind of
emulate.
builds your sound. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That's definitely interesting. That's actually pretty interesting to find out. Uh, what part of Ireland were you from?
I was born. I was like, I grew up in the countryside, so I was in Kildare. It's like a really small county.
Yeah.
It was pretty chill. It's farmlands, farmers and stuff. The town I lived in was a little bit crazy,
No, I know
but
of it. I know of Kildare. I know of Kildare.
yeah, but we were posh. We were mostly posh people living there. But like where I grew up in the bad parts of the town. It wasn't really the bad parts, but you know where all the dumb shit was going on. But it was pretty lit. And I moved to when I went to college. I went to college to be an engineer, and I moved to Dublin for that. And it just some shit was going on with family and stuff. So I kind of had to drop out and start helping my mom out and stuff like that.
I hear
But
you.
yeah, but we were
Family first. And when you were in Ireland, were you releasing music there at all, or were you just?
Yes, I was releasing music professionally for 2 years in Ireland before I moved. So I was doing shows and stuff like that. So like most of my listeners and supporters are from Ireland and the UK. So we kind of have like it's like mostly Europe, but then it's like my top listeners on Spotify, Apple Music and stuff like that is like Europe. It's America, then Europe. But most of the people in Europe are like, they all like love me and shit. But I know loads of them personally. So, but all the
Yeah.
UK and American stuff is kind of like just people who find my music themselves and actually enjoy listening to me. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's good, man. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. But definitely, I'm still kind of surprised by hearing about that. That took me by shock because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, see, people don't expect it because people see me and then they see the way I
No,
talk, the way I
it's not
dress
even
and
so
stuff.
much that because I know myself that there's black Irish people and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
most people, a lot of ignorant people are like, no, no black people live in Ireland. No, you're wrong.
yeah. Nah, I do get that a lot. Whenever I'm like, yo, I'm Irish, people are like, what? You're Irish, but you're black. I'm like, yeah. Like we are there. We're just chilling.
Yeah, exactly. But and you said you have an EP you're thinking of dropping again, right? Another
Yeah,
EP,
I'm working on an EP for later
and
this year, and it's
it's a
Vox is gonna be on.
genre.
And I have a few other things I'm working on right now, and I'm working with loads of producers. I'm working from a producer in France. I'm working with some freelance producers as well. So we're just trying to. I want to bring my sound, and right now in the industry, it's kind of like people want to compare everyone. So I want to bring my drill sound and basically like oh, chill. For like, to be honest with you, I get compared to Pop Smoke a lot. Like, don't get it twisted. I get a lot of inspiration from him, but people try to just compare me straight to him. You're copying him. You're doing this. So it's kind of like I want to build my sound, but I want to build my sound in a way that people just can't compare me to him. But
Yeah,
it's difficult because we do like some of the notes I can hit. He hits the same way because of our voice. Like we can't
yeah,
stop it. So it's kind of like finding ways to write songs that have no correlation or no way you can match my song to his songs. Like, because people listen to Vox and like, oh, dude, you sound just like Pop Smoke. I'm like, Pop Smoke would have never written a song like that though. He might have had the same vocal notes and vocal tones, but the lyrics and the way I'm delivering my bars, he would never done that because that's not his style. So
yeah. I feel it.
I want to try make my shit so people can see past the sound and look at the style of my actual artistry, if that makes sense.
No, that makes 100%. I agree with you, and it's true. It is all about comparing people these days. A lot of people are always comparing someone to the next. That's what's the originality is left a lot of the music, but you have like the upper hand and a little bit of leverage by bringing the drill sound to Canada, because there's not a lot of people who,
I was looking
a
at
lot
that.
of people wouldn't even know that.
Drill here. Not
A
a lot
lot
of
of
people is
people
doing
won't
drill,
even
but
know
it's
what
really
drill
influenced
is.
by New York, though. New York
Yeah.
is really influencing drill by here. So I'm like, and people like Canada is so close to like for instance, Ottawa is so close to New York, and I'm like, I thought there'd be way more people doing drill, but there really
Yeah.
isn't. So I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, so you do have an upper hand in that part for sure. And then, have you had any interaction with any artists from the city? Like,
Oh yeah, I've actually reached out to a few people. Like I met a rapper, Calix Breezy. He lives in the city. He's actually in Gloucester as well. I was talking to him, reached out to him, and my manager's been talking to a lot of rappers as well in the city, and we're gonna see if we start networking and maybe get some features and stuff. But like for now, I'm just trying to work on the music and try to sort out my EP so I know everything's ready. But
right.
after that, I'm gonna start dipping into the like the community a lot more. But like the thing is, like, I don't want to just come to the community and just take. I want to like give my sound, give what I have, and then if people like it and they fuck with me, I can start taking back. But at least I've given some. Because when you come into the community and you start like just going straight for features, everyone features. Like I'm just here to come leech off all of your clout, all of your supporters, and just try to bring that to me. I don't like that. I like being able to say, okay, boom, I dropped my sound. If you guys like it, we can collab, and people will see different works and not just me collabing with every single Ottawa artist that's there. So I don't feel that's a good way to get into the scene in Ottawa for me.
Yeah, because I've been in the scene a long time, like previously as a hip hop artist and now doing this and the podcast and stuff. So, like, I have a lot of people that'll end up probably hearing the track because they follow me from knowing me from back in the day. So at the end of
Yeah.
the show, I'll let you introduce the track before we cut it off. But I want to have you back on the actual podcast for a longer conversation, so that way it'll be in a couple months. That way you have some more workout and we could talk about
Yeah, that's
things
true. That's
done
true. Yeah,
since
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
since speaking now until then, and then we'll have some more to talk about. This was like an introduction, like a quick thing. Just wanted to meet you. I just saw you online, so I wanted to see. I never heard the name, so I was like, he has to be rather new to this city because I've never heard the name in the city. So I thought it might have been someone I know who changed their name, but then I looked and I'm like, no, I don't know him. I've never seen him. Did a quick scan, so I appreciate you coming on for sure, and I appreciate your manager being responsive and hooking it up, and let her know I say thanks. If that's her holding the camera, thank you.
Yeah. You know the vibes. Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
thanks for your time,
definitely,
man. Thanks for the
definitely. And
introduction, because this is a
if you ever
big
want to link up and
platform.
kick it, I'm in the
Yeah,
city.
link up. If you ever need a link up, I'm here. I'm chilling. So
Just hit me on IG and just let me know what you guys are up to and what you're saying,
yeah.
and we can link up and whatever. I'm in Gloucester. I'm always on the east, so. And we could talk a little more about this Irish background thing.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely, most
interested.
definitely.
I'm interested.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
I'll let you take us out. Just before we do that, the mini series is sponsored by Mauvais Garçons. It's the hat that I have on, merch that they have. So if you're ever in Montreal, go check out the restaurant. It's in Griffentown, Montreal. So shout out to them. This is Steph Lyon. It's your host Hanley. I'm gonna let him take us out with this track. Let him introduce it, and then we'll have him back on the podcast in a couple months. So bless. I appreciate you coming on, homie.
Yeah, got you, bro. Got you. So y'all go listen to Rocks. It's out everywhere. Go listen to that shit. It's dope. If you haven't heard it, you're missing out.
All right, and we're gonna play it right after this interview, so it'll pop up right after our chat. So. All right, man. I'll be in touch and I'll hit you up with everything.
Yeah, got you, bro. Thank you.
All right,
Stay blessed.
Yeah, take care, homie.
Brand new number, who this, lose this, but would you call that trouble? Reese's, pieces, buy it, lease it. Air Force, don't crease it. Cuban, shiny, choker, glisten. Leaving the streets like sweeping. None of these niggas we missing. Stay with it, click, we with it. Fucking that bitch, she with it. Snatching that chain, we with it. Moving, flying, grinding, drifting. All of these niggas be talking that shit, ain't with it. Brand new chain got rocks. Rocks, 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 rocks. Take that bitch, she hot. She hot, 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 hot. Ice out, melting, flexing, flexing. Our block, run it, we run them from it. Niggas talking, working, we run it. Ain't gotta watch but my neck is icy. All of these niggas we dicing, playing no games with dices. Telling that bitch we like it. Dice it, blend it, roll it, throw it. Brand new chain got rocks. Rocks, 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 rocks. Take that bitch, she hot, 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 hot. Brand new number, who this, lose this. Roll with the crew that trouble. Reese's, pieces, all of my G's, making that bread, fucking that thotty, getting that hit, running these streets, nigga don't sleep, walking that beat, getting that heat, money, it's making, spending, no faking, trying to live free, no budget, so my nigga be on it, trying to work hard, we want it, study the game, we on it. All these niggas do run down, still working, can't fall now. Bust down, iced out, lights out, shiny. Bust down, iced out, lights out, shiny. Brand new number, who this, lose this. Roll with the crew that trouble. Reese's, pieces, buy it, lease it. Air Force, don't crease it. Cuban, shiny, choker, glistens. Brand new chain got rocks. Rocks, 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 rocks. Take that bitch, she hot, 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 hot. Ice out, melting, flexing, flexing. Our block, run it, we run them from it. Brand new chain got rocks. Rocks, 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 rocks. Take that bitch, she hot, 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 hot. Brand new number, who this, lose this. Roll with a crew that trouble. Reese's, pieces.